Guys, welcome back to Wide Awake News Radio. I'm Charlie McGrath, your host, the second day of October, Tuesday. Eric Lovely is still hanging out with us for a little bit. Of course, Eric, you're welcome to hang out for the entire hour if you can. If you can't, we understand. And also joining us now is Bob Tuskin of the Bob Tuskin Radio Show. He's in the midst of working on a project that we're going to talk about. I did kind of want to just kick it off, if you guys don't mind, with a little bit of observation of the news, and then get your guys' take on this. Tomorrow night, right? We have the big debate. We have the big debate, and it's going to be exciting, and it's going to be riveting. Everybody be glued at the edge of their seat, at least in the mainstream media. And I've been noticing over the last couple months that everything that possible that can be done in order to paint a picture of a divided nation is being accomplished. In fact, I'm sitting here watching Drudge update, and oh my gosh, look, national shock poll, Romney 47, Obama 47. It's a dead heat, boys and girls. We're going right down to the wire, red team, blue team. And this is what Eric and I were talking about, Bob, a little bit towards the end of the first hour, which is we're being divided and conquered right to the point of not seeing this devastating tidal wave of freedom-killing legislation, freedom-killing actors that we have going between Washington and Wall Street, who are doing everything possible to keep us in the dark, keep us sound asleep as this machine rolls over freedom on this planet. So we look at this debate coming up tomorrow night, and like I said, we'll have Anderson Cooper and all the big media out there just fawning over how Obama did or how Romney did, who got the best zinger, who got the best punchline, who won the debate. But in reality, nothing that they talk about will be worthy of debate for the future of this country. You know, everything that they're going to bring to the table is going to be, in a nutshell, pop culture nonsense. You know, we're not going to have any debate on the control of our financial system, the control of our monetary system, the issuing of a constitutionally legal currency. We're not going to have a debate on should we get out of being the empire builder around this planet? Should we get out of all these multiple engagements around the world and killing people? You know, in fact, it'll be the contrary. They'll debate how we should ratchet up the attack on people around this planet in the name of spreading democracy. So it's terrifying to me sitting here going into yet another election cycle and seeing my fellow Americans absolutely tuned out for the most part. It's the most frustrating thing at this point in my life that I deal with, which is we're stepping up to the plate one more time, and you know what? We're going to get the exact same pitch, and we're going to swing for it just like we've done time after time. But after the last two elections, after the devastating events that have occurred to our economy, the devastation that Main Street has seen, the falling of the middle class, the creation of this great state of non-persons who can't find a job, move back in with mom and dad, no longer accounted in any statistic, even with these millions and millions of people that have been added to these kind of horrific statistical sheets. We are just sitting back and going to play the same game and somehow expect a savior to come out of it, either on the perceived left or right. And it's the most threatening thing that it could happen to our republic right now is the continuation of the status quo. And I want to throw that to Bob first, since he's our guest. Bob Tuskin, his website, let me give you that real quick because I'm notorious for forgetting to do that. BobTuskin.com. You can hear his past shows and see his schedule and see some of his fine work. Bob Tuskin, welcome back to Wide Awake News Radio.
Thanks, Charlie. And, of course, I work directly with the IntelHub.com. And as you mentioned, we got a great project that we'll tell your listeners about in a little bit. But I hate to burst your bubble here, and I hate to be completely iconoclastic, but I have sworn an oath to my listeners and my viewers that I will not be discussing the dog and pony show that you're referring to. So to be quite frank, I don't want to discuss it in any capacity. Yes, we know the left-right paradigm is a fraud. Yes, we know that the elections
Hold on a minute.
are a fraud.
Let me ask you this. how, and I understand that position, and it's, I can feel the desire to do the exact same thing. But let me ask you this: for somebody tuning in at the Intel Hub, the Bob Tuskin program, for the first time, I mean, isn't it kind of important for us to point out this? I mean, obviously, the people that are tuning into this program every night, they don't need to, hear that message that it's a con, it's a fake, and we're being duped. But you know what? I'm not out to reach them. They've already been reached. I'm out to reach the people that they might send the recording of your program to or my program to. Those are the ones I want to hear the message nonstop. I want to hear it from Wide Awake News. I want to hear it from the Intel Hub. I want to hear it from Blacklisted News. I want to hear it from Rinse. I want to hear it from the folks over at InfoWars. I want to hear it nonstop 24/7, how our political system has been co-opted, and this game of division is truly that, just a game to keep us on a distracted footing.
Well, I certainly could see, that form of outreach as being useful. But unfortunately, Charlie, you are preaching to the choir for the most part. And yes, there's that 1% perhaps that you reach through, the spreading of your show and to those who are not in the know, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, for the most part, we are just preaching to the choir, and I don't see it as overall useful. I think you can still have a balance here, Charlie. You can still talk about the issues unto themselves, and you could maybe use, if you will, and I'll make a deal with you. You can use the elections as a segue to look at the issues themselves. So to look at the financial system itself and say, look, both of these clowns, Obama, don't have any point of view that really gets to the root of the problem. And in order for you to understand the root of the problem, you should not be watching the elections, learning their talking points. You should be watching Money as Debt. You should be watching, or reading about how fractional reserve banking really works. So that's where I'll make a compromise with you, Charlie.
Fair enough. And trust me, I completely understand where you're coming from. And I get asked quite a bit, do I monitor and watch these things like the Republican debates? And I have to say, I watched every single one of them that I could, it made me sick. I hated doing it, but I felt that in order to come on and speak to the game that's being played before us, that I need to at least participate as far as watching it, so I could comment on it with with some degree of authority. But as far as paying any lip service to talking points, I could not agree. Matter of fact, we're in lockstep. Do anybody that has ever come on my program or would ever come on my program, if they started to go down a path of, all we need to do is get this team in or that team in, and playing into the political status quo at all, that would be it. It would be done and over, because that is a complete and utter total waste of time.
And I'll take it a step further. The other night I interviewed Judge Jim Gray, who's running with Gary Johnson under the Libertarian ticket. And, if he was able to participate in the debates, that would be great. That would be ideal. For crying out loud, Roseanne Barr should be able to participate in the debates.
Sure.
If we really want to have a free discussion here of the issues. But no, we see them limited to just the left-right paradigm.
Right.
But that being said, I'll take this a step further. I don't even want to get involved with Gary Johnson's campaign, the Libertarians. And although I agree with them on a lot of different issues, namely the war on drugs and the colossal failure that it is, I don't support politics anymore. I got to get away from government on a whole. And I was disillusioned with Ron Paul after 2008. And I feel everybody got burned again. And it really is the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results.
Yeah, and it's certainly not. That's certainly what we're going to get is the exact same result. Bob Tuskin, Eric Lovely is our panel. Stay tuned. We're going to be back in about 3.5 minutes to continue the talk on Wide Awake News Radio. Hang tight. Hey guys, it's Charlie McGrath with WideAwakeNews.com and Wide Awake News Radio. It was 1999 when the Dow Jones first crossed the 10,000 point mark. Back then, our national debt was $6 trillion. You could buy an ounce of gold for around $250 and an ounce of silver for around $5. Now, there's a lot of folks in alternative media and mainstream media asking the question, when are we going to see the next financial crisis? Well, for myself and the folks over at Austin Rare Coin, we believe that time is now. It's called sovereign debt fiat currency crisis. Now let's review. 1999, 10,000 points on the Dow. 2012, after trillions of dollars being spent, 13,000 points. We've seen our national debt explode from $6 trillion to nearly $16 trillion. Gold from $250 an ounce to over $1,600 an ounce, and silver from $5 to over $30 an ounce. Gold and silver, that is planet Earth's currency. It has been for 5,000 years. It will be for the next 5,000 years. If you have wealth you're trying to protect, I highly recommend and encourage you to call Gabe Elton and the folks over at Austin Rare Coin, 1-800-552-4109. They support alternative media. They support getting the truth out, so let's support them. Austin Rare Coin, 1-800-552-4109, or visit them online, austincoins.com.
Remember this name, Carnivora. That's CARNIVORA.com. What if I told you that this 100% pure and natural product was delivered directly to the White House at President Reagan's personal request at a time when only the president was able to obtain it? Reagan used this amazing product, Carnivora, successfully, a product derived only from nature that has the intelligence to instinctively attack abnormal cells only without harming a single normal cell, and the power to actually wake up critical immune cells from dormancy to attack foreign invaders that don't belong in our bodies. Carnivora is now obtainable by anyone who wants to get healthy and stay that way. Call 1-866-VENUS-FLY and protect yourself with 17 naturally occurring compounds that will unleash powerful immune defense. That's 1-866-VENUS-FLY. Call 1-866-VENUS-FLY and get your Carnivora today. Visit carnivora.com.
Will 2012 bring the Mayan end of world or the global banking collapse? In 2007, one man, Mike Dillard, made 5 predictions which forecasted the 2008 economic crisis and the pending Eurozone collapse. This week, Mike unleashes 3 brand new, shocking, must-watch videos with predictions for the coming year. www.the3videos.com. Over the past year, Mike Dillard has helped thousands of ordinary people create and recover wealth by tapping into the black box investing strategies the big banks don't want you to know about. www.the3videos.com. As the European banking system implodes and governments collapse at breakneck speeds, the next 12 months will be the most anticipated and important months in modern human history. This will make 2008 look like a walk in the park. Everyone will be affected. Go to www.the3videos.com now. Learn how to prepare your family and prosper during the global financial collapse.
All right, guys, welcome back to Wide Awake News Radio. Charlie McGrath, Bob Tuskin, Eric Lovely, remaining 45 minutes of the program. I want to talk about the project Bob Tuskin and the folks over at the Intel Hub are working on and get into that a little bit. But I want to throw Eric into the mix here a little bit. Just, you know, I think I know where you're going to go real quick with this, Eric, as far as you heard Bob and I's discussion on the political freak show that we have going on right now. And I want to get your take, because you are a student of this game and the tricks of the game. You know, what was your take of our exchange there, as far as, is it relevant? Is it something that we should just toss by the wayside and look at how to affect real change?
Well, you know, I think that really Bob has kind of the closer approach when you start to look at it, because he's kind of using it the same way that I would when he gave a little ground there in the communication, by the fact that I teach you how the natural common law works and how real individual sovereignty and voluntarism is found in the Constitution. And all I do is talk about, okay, the government is doing X badly, or is doing X incorrectly and unconstitutionally. And I use that as a point of reference to bounce into teaching what is the right way, or what is the constitutional way, what is the correct voluntarism way that's found within the original document, Constitution, that was written. So, I would have to agree with him, because when I love to talk politics, but when I really like talking politics, it's about, okay, well, what are your people doing in your local community? Are you creating offices? Are you putting people into a sheriff? Things you can actually physically control, or physically lay your hands on, okay? This is the only politics anybody should be worried about, who their community, who their barter group is putting into a position of power over their barter group.
Yeah.
And those things, because on the national scale, I know before I even talk about politics and all, when I start talking about these presidents and so on and so forth, I don't even talk about one part or the other anymore. I either say the government or the state. They're all lumped together to me. They're the same identical thing. It really, I know certain facts. They're going to continue to steal. You're going to continue to get poor. You're going to continue to lose your property. You're going to continue to lose all your rights. And so, I mean, really, I just use it as a jumping point for education. I don't want to get involved either.
Yeah, I guess. But, Bob Tuskin and the folks over at Intel Hub are doing something. They're taking a position of educating the masses, and they're working on a project to do exactly that. And Bob Tuskin, why don't you begin to tell us a little bit about this project? I'm excited for it to come out this winter.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Charlie. And we hope to have you be a big part of the film as well, and Wine Wake News. The IntelHub.com, along with Jason Burmis, decided to put together a piece that's going to be quite comprehensive as far as its look at the eugenics policies that, a certain group of wannabes, the powers that shouldn't be, as I like to call them, Charlie.
Yeah.
Because I don't like to give them the credit, the elites, blue bloods. I don't like to give them any credit. So let's call them schmendricks for all I care. Regardless of what you call them, whether they're reptilians, Jews with horns on their heads, it doesn't matter. We see all around us policy that is deliberately being put against the people. And there are various ways in which this takes place. Much of it, in my opinion, and the research I've done and am doing, is in the form of slow kill poisons. Much of those slow kill poisons you put in your body on a regular basis, on your dinner table. The biggest threat in your household, besides the television, which is obvious, is your stove, your refrigerator, and if you have a microwave, folks, please throw that thing out, because that's a whole different story. And that's a big part of the slow kill, is the various background radiation, whether it's through smart meters, through your cell phone, which will cause brain cancer, or through the Fukushima nightmare that never ends, that continues to this day, that nobody seems to still be talking about, but it's still there. So we'll take a look, a comprehensive look at the cornucopia of slow kill poisons that face us everywhere we look. And my twist on it, Charlie, and something that I like to put forth into this so-called movement, which is more of a bowel movement, if you ask me, a lot of times, is saying that, yeah, there are all these things that you got to stay away from, but you can choose whether or not you want to eat genetically modified foods. Now, they don't want you to be able to choose that easily, because they don't want to label, and that brings up a contemporary issue that I won't digress on. But you can choose, for the most part. You can't choose what air you breathe, unfortunately, and all those aerosols get into our soils and whatnot, and yeah, that's a big problem. But you can choose whether or not you get control of your own situation, protect yourself from an EMP takedown of our entire grid, protect yourself from possible looting, get your Federal Reserve notes out of the bank, and put it in the form of something that you can actually make use of. All of these things that are, I'm sure, not new ideas, nothing that I came up with on my own, but an obvious progression once you realize the stakes that we have here with this all, and how dire the situation really is.
No doubt about it. And, I want to get into the people that are involved in making this project. I'm trying to delay a little bit because I know we're about 10 seconds out from a break here. I don't want to get into a bunch of details and then have to rehash them. I will say this: I know we have a caller on the line, and I'm probably not going to be able to take that call. I want to spend the last half of the program really focusing on this project of Bob Tuskin and the Intel hubs. So I apologize. I should have made that announcement earlier on in the program. Guys, hang tight. We're going to talk with Bob Tuskin and Eric Lugley. If he's hanging out, we're going to talk with him as well. We'll be right back in about 3 minutes. Hang tight. Hey guys, it's Charlie McGrath with Wide Awake News Radio and WideAwakeNews.com. In 2007, 26 million Americans were on food stamps. 2012, the numbers exploded to over 46 million people relying on the government to put food on the table. Debts out of control across the planet, pushing us towards a financial Armageddon. Talk of war seems to fill every newscast. And disasters, both man-made and natural, seem to be on the rise. Can you think of a better time in history than now to be prepared for the unexpected? Guys, I want to introduce you to our new partners in alternative media. BuyEmergencyFoods.com. BuyEmergencyFoods.com offers the best kind of emergency food, Legacy Premium, with the largest variety available in the freeze-dried food industry. Each meal is packed for freshness in an individual nitrogen-flushed Mylar pouch. The meal is then sealed in a stackable, heavy-duty plastic container that's easy to store, easy to transport, and won't be damaged by water or rodents. So if you're worried about food inflation, economic crisis, unemployment, natural disaster, then don't delay. Prepare your family now. Visit our new partners in alternative media, BuyEmergencyFoods.com. Give them a call at 888-543-7345, or again, visit them at BuyEmergencyFoods.com.
You're listening to Charlie nationwide and worldwide on the Internet, on the Rense Radio Network.
Are you in debt, having sleepless nights, sick of constant creditor phone calls? Want a guaranteed solution? Become a member of DebtorManagementSystems.com and we will take all of your creditor calls. That's right, we'll manage all of your creditor calls. Go to DebtorManagementSystems.com and join up today. Or call 855-332-8782. That's 855-332-8782. Join today and take the stress out of your life. Are you having trouble paying your mortgage? Maybe your mortgage loan is upside down or in foreclosure. Maybe the bank already foreclosed on you. Don't be a victim of bank fraud. Fight back. Here's how. Go to InspectorAudit.com and find out the truth about your loan. Did you know that 78% of the loans in the last 10 years violated consumer credit laws? We should not let the banks get away with that kind of fraud. Go to InspectorAudit.com or call 855-373-4948. That's 855-373-4948. And start fighting bank fraud today.
Heart-related health problems affect millions of people each year. Maybe you're one of the many who suffer from issues related to angina pain, high blood pressure, congestive heart failure, unbalanced cholesterol, irregular heartbeat, or clogged arteries. There is a solution that doesn't involve expensive prescription drugs that only mask the problem and leave you with horrible side effects. If you are ready to live your life free of sickness, pain, and fear, live your life with increased vitality, energy, and youthfulness, and experience your body healing itself, then you're ready for Heart and Body Extract from Healthy Hearts Club. Heart and Body Extract has a 23-year proven track record of using certified organic herbs that make up an excellent formula to balance and support the heart and circulatory system. In as little as 2 weeks, you can feel amazing results when your 2-month supply of Heart and Body Extract today. Call 1-866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
Guys, welcome back to Wide Awake News Radio. Bob Tuskin of the Intel Hub is our guest for this hour. We're talking about the project. Give us a name. What's the name of the movie?
ShadeTheMotionPicture.com. Like I said, both trailers are out for that film. We released the first one a couple months ago, and the second one just came out. And we're really excited. We want people to pre-order it. To go back to what I was saying about, I was talking, I think, off air with you about the fact that people want to know if it's going to be on YouTube, if it's going to be free for everyone to get. And the answer is yes, it's going to be free. Okay, relax. We're not doing this because we think we're going to be bajillionaires, and I think I'm going to be the next James Cameron, Jason Burmis, a very talented filmmaker, made the most viewed documentary in the world. He's broke as a joke, working odd jobs, Charlie. Okay, yeah. So, these people out there think that, it's okay if James Cameron makes a lot of money because he's Hollywood, he's connected, whatever. But somehow if a true so-called truther dares to even ask for some Federal Reserve notes to help go into the movement, so to speak, or to help, allow us to cover these topics to the extent that we're covering it and preach beyond the choir, somehow they become an instant shill, an instant agent. So that's a long-winded frustration that I'm venting with you.
That's fine, man. Because you know what? I that's fine because I understand where you're coming from. It is frustrating because I realize, the expense. I don't realize the expense of making a motion picture because I've never done it. However, I do this every night and I realize the expense of it. And none of this stuff is free. And if you were trying to do this out of your own pocket, which most people do, but if they get an advertiser or if they get someone helping out or if somebody makes donations, it is always greatly appreciated. And to be honest, most people that are doing this, myself included, yourself included, I'm certainly not making money on this. I'm not getting wealthy off this. I do this because I love it and I believe in what I'm doing.
Exactly.
But
I tell my listeners, Charlie, that if I could stop doing this today, if I didn't have to, for my son, who I just had my first son on July 4th, and my first child. And
congratulations on that.
I appreciate that. And that's a whole big show in itself, to talk about how they're trying to, from the point of birth, traumatize our youth and what the hospitals do with their birthing process. And that's something I'm very passionate about, the vaccines, the circumcisions, all of this.
Karen
crazy.
Karen does on Friday. Karen Tostado does her program on here on this Wide Awake News Radio, and she's covered that topic.
Yeah, she's had Janice Barcelo on,
yep.
Who I put her in touch with, and Janice talks a lot about that. Anyways, that aside, I want to see a better world for my son. If I could stop doing this today, I would. I don't do this for the sake of hearing the sound of my own voice. I really don't. And people confuse that. They get it twisted. I'd much rather be spending my time right now in the living room, hanging out with my son, to be honest.
Yeah.
Or in the garden. I like to garden regardless of the need to garden, of the importance of gardening. But nonetheless, there's much more time I would like to spend outside of this, but I do this out of a necessity. Again, this is a dire situation that we are in, and we all need to be activists in whatever capacity possible. My capacity just happens to be in being a talk show host, helping with the website, and working on this film. So pre-order the film, please. We will be giving it out for free with the free Obama phone.
You saw that in chat, I'm assuming.
Yes, I did. And there's the sound of the Obama phone. I'm calling Sotero right now to thank him for that. We do believe in Intel Hub food stamps. So if you can't afford the film, we will give it to you absolutely for free.
Well, I can buy it at. I dropped the link into the chat room.
ShadeTheMotionPicture.com.
Right, and it's $24.95, $30. Get the movie, and I'm assuming this is funding. This is how these work. What was the big documentary that just came out, was released about why on earth are they spraying?
Michael Murphy.
Yeah, he was on the program, and he said, this thing was, it's all paid for out of pocket, but then, these pre-orders are what helps pay to get this thing done.
Yeah, that's how it works. Otherwise, we can't really make the film as great as we would like to, and that's unfortunate. But that aside, the topics are going to be hard hitting. I mean,
and I want to get into that, but I want to make an announcement real quick here.
Yeah.
We're going to get into. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Bob, but both of us like to talk, and apparently I won that round, and you'll win the next one. I want to make this announcement now. I'm going to buy one of these. I'm going to pre-order this movie, and I'm going to give it away to somebody in the chat. And Bonnie, you're in charge of this. I'm going to go ahead and place the order. But you're in charge of getting the pre-order to whoever ends up with winning this thing. But we'll do this before the end of the program. Bob, go ahead.
Well, thank you very much for that, Charlie. And I hope that whoever gets that film can share it for free. This is the idea is not to keep this information. I believe in open source information on a whole, or from Linux on your computers. To an open source currency, perhaps. I'm still wrapping my head around. We talk about the Federal Reserve, the fractional reserve banking madness, the hole that is never stopped being dug, and we really need to say, well, what's the alternative? Is the gold standard an alternative? I don't think so. As best as I can wrap my head around it, yeah, maybe it's good to have gold, but as a standard, as a base for a monetary system, a system of distribution, I don't know. The golden rule is, Charlie, those that own the gold make the rules.
Yeah, I have a deep thought on deep thoughts on the gold-backed currency that we could take up the rest of this program, and I won't do that. But you're 100% right. I don't care what the currency is backed by. If the same, scumbaggery, as Vinny Eastwood says, is behind it and they can control it, the value of it, then I want no part of it. I don't care if it's gold or platinum or pebbles.
Or sticks, yeah. That's exactly right. And we can look at, how fractional reserve banking works with gold. Eventually you give the banks your gold, and when you go to collect the gold, it's not there.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Not there, because they're doing the same thing. It's the same exact mechanism at hand.
That's exactly right. Until we break through that and realize that, look, nations rose. Great standards of living were achieved by money that was issued by government that was not at debt. It was, in the case of the Roman Empire, it was, the version of constitutional currency that we should be having now, where it is issued by the people and it's not issued at debt. If you have a bunch of private individuals that have a desire for profit as their motive and they control the issuance of currency, guess what you end up with? 2012 United States of America, with millions and millions of people, out of work, unemployed, foreclosed on, destitution. This is what you get. You upwardly integrate all of the true wealth and value of society into the hands of few, and that's what needs to be broken. Bob, I don't mean to go off on a tangent there. What are some of the other topics of the program?
Well, it's going to really... Yeah, I got you. It's the opposite. It's an unprogram.
Okay.
That's the idea. It really is vast. We're going to take a look at some government documents that we're saving for the film, so I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. And I know that sounds all sexy and fantastic, but the reality of the situation is it's pretty much out there right in front of your face, and it's written down. You just got to know where to look for it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm super, super excited to see this, and my hat's off to you and the folks at Intel Hub. Hang tight. We're going to take our last break. When we come back, I'll announce who won. If you're in the chat room, you already know who won the free shades, the motion picture provided to you by Wide Awake News Radio. We're going to be back with Bob Tuskin, more Wide Awake News Radio. Hang tight, folks. We'll be right back. Hey guys, it's Charlie McGrath of WideAwakeNews.com and Wide Awake News Radio. 2%, this is the number that the federal government wants you to believe represents inflation in our country. 2%. Now maybe that's true if we back out necessity items we need just to live, such as energy and food. But the fact of the matter is, I don't have to tell you food prices are on the increase. They have been for years, and it's going to continue to rise. The real question is, are we getting better quality food for this increase in price? According to the CDC, the answer is no. A March 2012 report shows foodborne illnesses are on the rise. Guys, we are so lucky to have the folks at SeedsNow.com as sponsors of Wide Awake News Radio. Not only are Chris and the folks at SeedsNow.com offering thousands of non-GMO, non-hybrid, non-Frankenfood seeds that can go out the door today. They're looking into the future as well and offering outstanding values on things such as the Mini Mega Seed Bank with over 48,000 seeds and the Mega Super Survival Seed Kit with over 58,000 seeds. Seedsnow.com is a sponsor of Wide Awake News Radio because they care about alternative media and they care about getting the truth out. So let's support those that support alternative media. And if you go there today and put in the promo code WideAwake10, you will receive an instant 10% discount on all your orders. So please visit Seedsnow.com and use the promo code WideAwake10 to receive your discount.
If you're taking 1, 2, 5, or more nutritional supplements, please stop. Simplify your supplementation with Bio Superfood, the most advanced nutritional whole food supplement you can buy. Men, women, children, even Olympic athletes the world over have discovered Bio Superfood from BioAge.com. And now take just one nutritional supplement instead of many. The Bio Superfood formulas are whole food products composed with 4 of the most nutrient-dense algae found on Earth. Bio Superfood for the brain helps with focus, memory, clarity, and mood. If you can increase brain health, the rest of the body is a no-brainer. Bio Superfood has 0 toxicity and is safe for you and your family. Learn more and order your Bio Superfood formulas at BioAge.com, spelled BIOAGE.com, BioAge.com, or call 877-288-9116. That's 877-288-9116. BioAge, the age of advanced organics.
Hi, this is Jeff Rentz. Royal Raymond Rife was without question the most gifted medical scientific genius of our age. He discovered that most disease-related microbes die quickly when exposed to their own specialized resonant radio frequencies. The BCX 411 Rife-type frequency instrument has received the highest praise on several continents for its precision, simplicity of operation, and successful research experiment. The BCX, with its comprehensive manual, allows you to select the frequencies you wish to experiment with for the length of time you want to run them. The BCX handheld plasma ray tubes and RF radio carrier wave, like Rife use, are the absolute state-of-the-art in Rife frequency research. For full information and pictures, take the New Earth link at the top of Rense.com. Settle for nothing but the best in Rife research with the BCX 411. Again, just take the New Earth link at the top left corner of Rense.com.
Make a promise, take a vow, trust your feelings, it's easy now. Understand the voice within and feel a change already beginning.
Guys, welcome back to Wide Awake News Radio. Bob Tuskin of the Intel Hub. I don't know if I'm even making that announcement right. I know you collaborate with them. You're working to promote the Intel Hub. Great bunch of guys over there. Alex has been great about sending me news articles and posting the stuff that I do. He came on when he was at Bilderberg and gave us a report, so I really do appreciate the work. And you know what, guys? During the break, the first thing Bob said is, you do not have to buy one of these programs. We'll send you one. And I said, you know what? I don't care. I want to support this work because I believe it's important. I believe standing up, and Bob shared with me that, you know, that standing up for the future generations. It sounds corny, doesn't it, Bob? It sounds corny when we start talking like that.
It's for the children.
Yeah, it sounds corny, but it's true. It's true. And you know, in our brief little conversation during the break there, I said, look, I really believe that we are at the last generation that will have this ability to do what we are doing. And Bob had a nice comeback, which was he believes in the fairness doctrine for Wide Awake News Radio. and that's exactly the point. I mean, that's exactly where we're headed. All right, to win the contest, I put the question in before it even aired, I believe, which was what year was the Federal Reserve established? What, you know, and I could have.
Oh, that was an easy one. I
very easy.
Got that.
It was very easy. It took 2 seconds, and Warhorse dumped in 1913, which is 100% correct. So I will buy this prepaid motion picture, and we will get the correct address on it to go to you, Warhorse.
Absolutely.
And go ahead and contact us at info@wideawakenews.com.
Well, Charlie, since it's Tuesday, can we do a 2 for Tuesday deal here?
Absolutely.
All right, here's the question I'll put out there, and I will provide a free film to the person in your chat that gets this one right.
This is fun.
What happened a year before it in the Atlantic? All right, Charlie, I can't let you answer that. We're going to have to wait here a little bit for the delay. to see who gets that, right?
Well, it's a 2-minute delay, and I'm going to keep my mouth shut. You know what? I am in contact with you via Skype, and I'm going to type my answer in.
Okay, let's see here. Behind the scenes, does he know it? I think he does. Yeah, that's the one.
It? Yeah, okay.
It's hard to miss. It
is hard to miss, and now you're going to have to be diligent or both of us are, because of this delay, to see who answers it first.
I'm tempted to bring up the topic because it's connected to what happened in 1913.
Well, go ahead, because wait a minute. Now, if we look forward in the future, because we have the ability to bend physics, and
somebody's got it by now.
So go ahead.
I think so. All right. So John Jacob Astor was Astor or Asner. I always mess that up. But he was very influential. He was one of the wealthy bankers at the time. And J.P. Morgan, from what I understand, had his suite on the Titanic. Yes, that's right. In 1912, the April 15th, the Titanic sunk after mysteriously went right into an iceberg that, well, everyone knows was there. And, there's a lot of evidence that shows, well, the Titanic is another one of those, official stories that we take for granted. J.P. Morgan, mysteriously, like his good friend Larry Silverstein, I don't know if they're actually friends, but mysteriously he did not show up for this maiden voyage of this ship. Then you look at the similarities between the Titanic and the Titan that was brought up in a story from the 1800s. There's a lot to this. We actually did a show on the topic. Oh, there's the first one.
There it is. It was Anon 3768. So Anon 3768. Info at wideawakenews.com. That ain't gonna work. Because if we hang tight, go continue your story, Bob. I'll figure this out. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. Yeah. I see W.AN in there also got it.
Yeah.
Second, so we'll have to work that out. But the story is just fascinating. It's another one of those things that you can't take for granted. And with the 100th anniversary recently, we did a radio show on the topic. Myself, my colleague Steve Stars, and Popeye from Federal Jack. And it went absolutely viral, close to 400,000 hits on YouTube.
Wow.
And, I think it's just another fascinating tale. None of these events that are a part of his story should be taken for granted.
Yeah, no doubt. Bob, how are we going to do this? I got to figure this out and how we're going to get
you know what? I got an idea. In the chat room, that anonymous user can private message one of us. And we will know that that's that anonymous user because that number is unique to that user.
That's a good point. Okay, so there it is. Anon, private message me. I am Wide Awake News. And private message me your address and a contact number, and we'll make sure that you get your copy as well.
This is fun.
This is fun. We're costing, actually we've only cost the motion picture so far $30, but we broke even because we brought one to balance that out.
2 for Tuesday.
2 for Tuesday, Double Down Tuesday, Double Punch Tuesday, whatever you want to call it. Bob, what are we hoping as far as? Are we doing any guesstimation, I guess, of the reach that this is going to have? And the reason I ask that is, I don't want to sound like Lindsey Williams telling about how the production quality and, it's a beautiful DVD and all this, although I have utmost respect for Lindsey Williams. It literally drives everybody crazy when he goes down these tangent roads. But the fact is this, you guys are doing it in a way that is building a lot of momentum. There's a lot of anticipation. And then everything I've seen associated with it, such as the website, it's very much top notch, and it probably doesn't hurt that you have Burmis working on it.
Well, that's a good point. We're trying to make this so that it is in the highest quality possible, and no other documentary, and this isn't just to take all the glory, but no other documentary of its sort, of its type, has been in high def quality. And for Hollywood, for the powers that shouldn't be to be put into the theaters, possibly, who knows, that's a must-have. So we have this first off in the top-of-the-line quality with HD cameras, the top-of-the-line production. And as far as its reach, who knows how far this could be spread. Jason Bermas, who you mentioned, who's the co-producer and director of this film, has the most viewed documentary film in the world. In the world. And this is a guy, 24 years old, okay, who saw that the official story for 9/11 was a fraud. Complete fraud. And put forth a film that, he obviously had the technical ability to create. And because of it, we see so many people in the world today wide awake to what happened. And not just because of this film, so to speak, but because of the timing of it. And because of, the message, it really had a huge effect. And I'm not a big loose change guy. I woke up to it around the same time it came out, so to speak. But nonetheless, I mean, that's a major accomplishment. So I'm hoping that this will have that sort of viral nature to it because of whatever ingredients that are going to be combined. And at the end of the day, it will offer people more than what we already know. We already know the geoengineering is taking place. We have what in the world, why in the world are they spraying? We already know about the eugenics plot. We already know about all of these things. But you put all these things together and you offer solutions. You offer some activist-based initiatives and to look at, how people are taking a stand at their city commissions, which they're coming against. How people are taking a stand in their own personal lives, choosing what foods they eat, empowering people. Hopefully that will be the film's legacy, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, Shade the Motion Picture. It's going to be released this winter. Let me ask you this: is it still a work in progress, or is it completely done? Are you still adding to it as events unfold? Which I have to believe is the case because look at where we're at and things that are going to be happening in the next few weeks and months ahead.
Yeah, it is still evolving. It's still growing. And that's kind of the same, you can say the same thing about myself.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I'm growing. I'm learning. Yesterday, I knew less than I know today. And at the end of the day, we're going to keep learning. And the film will keep learning up into the point of its release this winter. We have some major shoots done, major interviews. I flew out to Arizona to do some of the interviews there that I was participating in along with Shepard and Bellis. And they've done portions of the film. They have some of the Bilderberg stuff, which will be there. But it's an ongoing project and it's growing. So.
Well, and it needs to continue to gather momentum, and that's saying a lot because it's already got a buzz going out there. I mean, everybody in the world of alternative anyway is very well aware of Shade the Motion Picture and is anticipating its release. So my continued support from Wide Awake News. If we can, get you on, get Alex on, get anybody that wants to come on here and promote this endeavor, they're more than welcome to get on here. And Alex knows if he sends me things that he wants up as far as promotional type items, we're happy to do that as well.
Yeah, we appreciate that, and we'll have to have Shepard come on and Alex as well, and maybe even Jason will come on. And Charlie, we want to thank you for doing all the great work that you do with Wide Awake News. I was talking to Karen before coming on the show, and I'm just so impressed. And I'm not just saying that. We were talking on one of the breaks about people they look at this and they say, oh, these guys they're in it. It's an ego thing, and they get this personality, this cult of personality sort of deal, and you're just genuine. You're just as pissed off as the next guy.
Yeah,
and that's at the end of the day what it comes down to. We're still learning. We're still growing. But if I was silent, I would consider that to be complicit.
That's exactly right.
And I consider the same for all the people out there that are awake and not doing anything. See, I see those people, in a way, Charlie, as even more a part of the problem. Because the guys watching American Idol, they can stay asleep and they don't really mean well. But the guys who are awake to this and not doing anything except infighting maybe and whatnot, you have no excuse. So, Charlie, thanks so much for having me on.
Bob Tuskin, it's my great pleasure to have you on. Shade the Motion Picture. The website is shadethemotionpicture.com. And also, please check out Bob's work at theintelhub.com as well. Again, a pleasure to have you on. Welcome back anytime. Hang tight after the program. I want to talk to you for a little bit. Guys, please enjoy Jeff Rentz. He is coming up next. There's a few comments in there about the previous programs not posted on YouTube. Guys, I will check that out after the program, and if I have missed any, I will get them up and posted as soon as humanly possible. Again, enjoy Jeff Rentz. He is coming up next. We will talk to you tomorrow night. Have a good night. Peace.
Watching at the end of the day, both scared and angry, like what did he say?
Hey there, my name is Frank Bates. What I'm about to tell you in the next 60 seconds could get me in a lot of trouble. I just created a free video presentation at 123rens.com that exposes the electricity monopolies and government agencies for what they really are: incompetent, lying crooks that are counting on your ignorance and fear to keep your power bills criminally high. Some have called this a conspiracy. Others have called it a cover-up, and you'll be shocked to find out how deep the conspiracy goes. My video at 123rens.com exposes the truth and shows you the secret of how I beat them and how you can beat them too. Watch the controversial video that thousands of other smart patriots have already seen in the last 3 months. Go to 123rens.com and discover one weird trick to slash your power bill and protect your home. Go watch my video now at 123rens.com before they force me to shut it down. Again, that's 123rense.com.
Are you struggling to reclaim your health? Let me share my story quick. My nightmare of chronic fatigue, PTSD, and autoimmune issues cost me everything. A bankruptcy, loss of home, even my wife walked out on me with no hope in sight. A miracle happened after hitting my lowest point. I discovered ion and RNA drops. It literally saved my life. I want to share my story with you and offer you a trial-size mini bottle of RNA drops. Visit www.rnafreemini.com. Again, that's www.rnafreemini.com. It's time to take your power back now. You can also check out our ad online at rents.com. RNA drops.
You're listening to the Rents Radio Network, nationwide and worldwide on the net and at rents.com.